After being betrayed and killed by my own wife and best friend, I found myself waiting in line at the underworld registration office. The Grim Reaper asked me which family I wanted to be reborn into. I pointed straight at the life and death mirror, right at that very couple rolling around in bed together. I smiled, a dark, twisted smile. Them, I choose their family. I'm going to be the sweet little product of their love. The Reaper froze, staring at me in shock. He tried to talk me out of it. Are you sure? They ruined your last life. They completely destroyed you, carrying this much dark resentment and being reborn as their son. It's definitely going to ruin your karma for your next life. I just gave a cold laugh and waved him off. Don't worry about it. For this lifetime, I am going to be the most wonderful, grateful son. The very next second, my whole world started spinning. And with a loud, piercing wail, I was brought into this world as Yi Tian, the beloved baby boy of my worst enemies. The nurse wiped me down and gently, so carefully, carried me over to that man. Congratulations, Mr. Yi. Congratulations, Miss Lu. It's a big, healthy baby boy. And wow, he's got such a strong set of lungs. Yi Long, my absolute best friend in the world. He reached out to me, his face absolutely glowing with excitement. Come here, son, let daddy hold you. His voice was actually shaking, sounding so thrilled to finally have everything he ever wanted. But the very second his fingertips brushed against my bare skin, I let out the most agonizing, blood-curdling shriek I had ever made in my entire existence. Daddy, you freaking wish, you piece of trash. My screams were so sharp they completely shattered the happy mood in the delivery room. The doctors and nurses jumped in shock. Yi Long was so terrified he nearly dropped me right on the floor. What's wrong? What's happening? He was just fine a second ago. The nurse quickly snatched me back from him. The moment I was out of his arms, my crying instantly died down to a whimper. Right then, a weak but incredibly gentle voice called out from the hospital bed. It was Lu Rian. Please, let me hold him. The nurse carefully brought me over to her, staring up at that face. The face of the woman I used to love with every fiber of my being. I felt nothing but pure, icy hatred. She gently gathered me into her arms. And just like that, I stopped crying, wiggled into a cozy spot, and drifted off into a deep, peaceful sleep. Looking so sweet and quiet, like a totally different baby from the little monster just a minute ago. Watching all this unfold, Yi Long frowned so hard his eyebrows knitted together. But Lu Rian just smiled warmly. She kissed my forehead, her eyes practically overflowing with soft, motherly love. Look at him, he already loves me so much. As the days went by, anytime Yi Long came within 3 steps of me, my internal siren would just go off, and the second he tried to pick me up, I would go completely crazy, thrashing my arms and kicking my little legs everywhere. In less than a month, Yi Long's face was completely covered in fresh scratches over old ones. And the rumor that the Lu family's little heir was born hating his dad had already started whispering its way through high society. Then, one night, I scratched the corner of Yi Long's mouth wide open yet again. He finally snapped. He slammed the bedroom door shut. He stood over my crib, absolutely screaming, "What the hell do you want from me? Are you some kind of little demon? Why are you doing this? Why only me?" I just stared back at him with my big, clear, innocent little baby eyes. That's right, I'm the demon who came straight from hell to make you pay. Seeing that I wasn't crying or throwing a fit, Yi Long seemed to get a tiny grip on his sanity. He took a long, deep breath, trying to calm himself down. You're just a baby. You don't even know what you're doing. His hands were literally shaking as he reached for me again, like he was desperately trying to prove something to himself. But right at that moment, the door clicked open. Lu Rian walked in, holding a freshly made bottle of warm milk. Seeing her husband reaching for her son with a twisted expression, she dashed forward and shielded me tightly in her arms. Yi Long, what are you doing? Yi Long defended himself in despair. I didn't do anything. I just wanted to hold him. Lu Rian held me close, soothing me softly. Then, without even looking up, she said to Yi Long, if you don't like him, then stay away from him. Let Auntie Zhang take care of him from now on. Ever since Lu Rian verbally stripped him of his parenting rights, Yi Long's status in this house plummeted. He went from a proud, high-spirited live-in son-in-law of a wealthy family to a completely dispensable father. Lu Rian grew increasingly cold toward him, and my grandparents treated him like he was completely invisible. Only during family gatherings, where keeping up appearances was necessary, was he allowed to hold me and play. the role of a loving father. Meanwhile, I grew up to be 3 years old, showered with everyone's love and affection. I started babbling simple, mumbled words, but every single syllable was carefully calculated. In front of my grandparents, I was the sweetest, most well-behaved little grandson. In front of Lu Rian, I was her clingy, precious little baby. But to Yi Long, I was an inescapable nightmare. When he fed me milk, I'd time it perfectly. The second he turned his back, I'd knock the bottle over. Then point right at him and scream at the top of my lungs, hot. When he read me a storybook, right in the middle of a page, I'd suddenly burst into terrified tears, pointing at the empty space behind him, shrieking. Scared, the first couple of times, Lu Rian would make excuses for him. But as it kept happening, the look in her eyes changed. It went from defensive to suspicious, and finally to undisguised impatience and disgust. One day, right after Yi Long finished a video call, my grandmother walked in with a dark expression on her face. Yi Long, come with me for a second. In the living room, Lu Rian and my grandfather looked dead serious. Meanwhile, I was pointing at a tiny, red mark on my thigh, sobbing uncontrollably. My grandmother pointed right at Yi Long's nose, trembling with rage. Is this you're doing again? I just asked you to watch the kid for a minute. Is this how you watch him? Tien's leg is bruised red from you pinching him. Yi Long was completely dumbfounded when he saw the red mark on my leg, because he knew it was just from me accidentally bumping into a toy. But in everyone else's eyes, it became hard proof that he was abusing his own son. Mom, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. He broke out in a frantic sweat, looking desperately at Lu Rian. Rian, you have to believe me. How could I ever lay a hand on my own son? Lu Rian didn't even look at him. She just looked down, gently cooing at me. There, Tien, don't cry. Mommy's right here. Her cold indifference felt like a sharp knife, ruthlessly stabbing right into Yi Long's heart. He lost it and roared. Lu Rian, say something. Do you actually think I did this? Do you really have that little faith in me? Hearing this, Lu Rian finally looked up. Her eyes were as cold as ice. How am I supposed to believe you? He's only a 2-year-old child. Can a baby lie? Yi Long, I get that you've been under a lot of stress lately. But you shouldn't take it out on the kid. I didn't do it. Yi Long couldn't defend himself, pushed so hard his eyes turned completely red. And right now, I was burying my face in Lu Rian's chest, sobbing like a wronged little victim, while staring coldly at him with my big, innocent eyes, a gaze filled with naked mockery and deep hatred. Seeing this, Yi Long violently shivered. A ridiculous, terrifying thought, for the very first time, crept up from the bottom of his heart. There was something seriously wrong with this kid. Ever since then, he stopped trying to get close to me. He'd even subconsciously avoid me. In his eyes, alongside the disgust, there was now a flicker of pure fear. This family, which he once saw as his shortcut to wealth and power, had now become the very cage trapping him. Soon, it was time for Grandpa's 60th birthday banquet. The hall was packed with guests, buzzing with noise and excitement. I was dressed in a sharp little suit, held securely in Grandpa's arms like a tiny grown-up. Soaking in everyone's praises, Yi Long, wearing a ridiculously expensive custom suit, held a wine glass, forcing a fake smile as he mingled through the crowd. But I knew he was just waiting for an opportunity, a chance to show off his deep, fatherly love in public. And sure enough, when it was time to cut the cake, he walked toward me with steady, deliberate steps, holding a small plate of cream cake. Tien, my precious baby, come here, let daddy feed you some cake. He had calculated perfectly that, in a setting like this, I wouldn't dare embarrass him. But too bad for him, he calculated wrong. I had been waiting for this day for far too long. I immediately squirmed and slid out of Grandpa's arms, backing away frantically like I'd just seen a terrifying monster, my little face twisting in absolute terror and rejection. No, I cried out, slurring my words like a terrified toddler. Yi Long's smile instantly froze on his face. The relatives around us immediately turned to watch the drama unfold. He started panicking. He took another step forward, trying to grab my hand. Tien, be good. Daddy doesn't mean any harm. This was the moment. I violently threw up my little hand, pointing with all my might right at his slightly twisted, guilty face. And then, screaming out every single syllable, I shrieked. Bad man, he hit me. Everyone stared at me in stunned silence, and then looked at Yi Long, whose face had instantly turned as pale as a ghost. Hit him? What did the kid just say? Did I hear that right? Oh my god, Yi Long usually looks so polite and gentle. Don't tell me he actually beats his own child? The whispers flooded in like a crashing tide. Grandpa and Grandma were the first to react, snatching me up tightly into their arms. Patting my back with a broken heart, they cooed, "Tien Tien, don't be scared." Did a nightmare scare you yesterday? Yi Long completely snapped. I didn't, it wasn't me. He started screaming uncontrollably, pointing at me with a shrill, hysterical voice. It's this little bastard spouting nonsense. He is not a normal kid. He's a monster. Lu Rian exploded in absolute fury. You shut your damn mouth. She lunged forward and slapped Yi Long violently across the face. Are you out of your mind? How could you say that to a 2-year-old child? I laid my head on Grandpa's shoulder, watching those two despicable dogs turn on each other. A thrilling shiver of pure satisfaction washed over me. This little show was getting better and better. That utter disaster at the birthday banquet became the final straw that crushed Yi Long. Lunatic, domestic abuser, a father cursed by his own son. These ugly labels stuck to him like cheap superglue, making him utterly humiliated, unable to show his face anywhere in the Lu family, or even high society. Lu Rian avoided him like the plague. The second she got home, she'd lock herself in her room. She'd rather see a ghost than face her precious true love of a husband. Completely isolated, Yi Long's mental state deteriorated right before our eyes. He didn't dare come near me anymore, but every time he looked at me, his eyes were filled with venom and fear. He'd purposely make loud, jarring noises while I was sleeping, or accidentally knock over my water tray while I was painting. When no one else was around, he'd just stand there, glaring at me with this dead, chilling stare. I endured it all in silence. I knew he was just letting his rage build up, and I was waiting for the perfect chance to drag him straight to hell. That chance lay hidden inside the deepest part of Lu Rian's jewelry box. A watch. It was a gift she had given Yi Long right after I was born. It had their initials engraved on it, the ultimate symbol of their love. I timed it perfectly, waiting until Lu Rian left for her salon appointment, then quietly slipped into her walk-in closet. I dug out that delicate velvet box. Without a second thought, I slammed it against the floor with everything I had. After a sharp crack, the watch face shattered, scattering glass shards all over the ground. A jagged piece sliced into my skin. The sharp pain nearly made my legs give out. I smeared a few drops of my blood onto my favorite toy dinosaur, hugged it tight, and stumbled out of the room, covered in the perfect evidence. Grandpa, Grandma, my tearful, piercing screams made everyone freeze and stare at me in sheer terror. There I was, clothes disheveled, trembling from head to toe, clutching a blood-stained toy dinosaur. Grandma was the first to rush over. I buried my face into her chest, sobbing until I could barely breathe. Then, using the baby words I had practiced for so long, I pieced together the most perfect lie. Daddy's mean. Daddy doesn't like mommy. I held up the blood-soaked dinosaur, crying so hard I looked like I'd pass out. He smashed mommy's stuff. Finally, I held out my bleeding arm. My arm, it hurts. Every single word hit them like a sledgehammer, shattering their hearts. Yi Long, who had just stepped out of the study, was completely dumbfounded. He stared at the gash on my arm, then down at his own empty hands. His mind just completely short-circuited. It wasn't me, I didn't do it, but with evidence literally scattered across the floor, his desperate pleas were pathetic and useless. Grandpa was shaking with absolute rage. You goddamn animal, how dare you lay your hands on Tien Tien? Our Lu family has no room for a sick, twisted psycho like you. Right at that moment, Lu Rian walked through the door, and froze in horror at the bloody scene. She looked at me, and then glared at Yi Long, who looked like a raving lunatic. The very last shred of love she had for her husband vanished, replaced by nothing but pure fear and disgust. As they were rushing to get me to the hospital, I rested my chin on Grandpa's shoulder. Staring coldly at Yi Long's pale, defeated face, I mouthed a single phrase to him. Drop dead. Watching me, he finally cracked, letting out a blood-curdling scream of pure terror. My arm needed 5 stitches. Because of that, Grandpa hired 2 massive bodyguards just for me. They worked 24-hour shifts. Their one and only job was to make sure that Yi Long couldn't get within 3 meters of me. Meanwhile, Yi Long was placed under strict house arrest in the master bedroom. I heard he was in there smashing things like a madman, sobbing and screaming that I was a demon spawn. He kept swearing that I had done this to myself. But too bad for him, nobody believed a word he said. Who would believe the words of a madman who only hurts children? But I knew this wasn't enough. House arrest wasn't the endgame. What I wanted was for him to completely vanish from this house, from my life, once and for all. That day, I sent the bodyguards away, and quietly walked up to his bedroom door. It wasn't locked. He was sitting on the carpet, staring at the watch I had smashed. I pushed the door open and walked in. The moment he saw me, like a frightened rabbit, he violently flinched back into the corner, his eyes completely filled with dread. "What are you doing here?" I walked right up to him. In a chilling tone that completely betrayed my young age, I said, "You stole my wife, my company, my life, and now, I am going to take every single thing back." At that exact moment, Yi Long's sanity completely snapped. He finally realized that I was no ordinary child. I was a vengeful spirit coming back for his life. Screaming like a total maniac, he lunged right at me. "Demon spawn, I am going to kill you, you little monster." Those bloodshot eyes exploded with primal, murderous rage. He grabbed my arm and started dragging me out of the room. I didn't even try to fight back. In fact, I played right along. Because I knew that in exactly 10 seconds, Grandpa would step out of his study, heading downstairs for his strict, daily afternoon tea. "Go to hell, you little bastard." Yi Long had completely lost his mind. He dragged me right to the top of the stairs and raised his hand high into the air. Now was the time. I heard the faint click of the study door opening. Just a split second before Yi Long's vicious slap could land on my face. I let out the most agonizing, terrifying scream. "Daddy, please don't push me." Then, I purposefully ripped myself out of his grip, and threw my own body down those dozens of cold, hard steps. I crashed violently onto the first floor marble, as blinding pain swallowed me like a tsunami. Still, I fought through the agony to lift my head one last time. I saw Grandpa standing frozen at the top of the stairs, his face deathly pale. He stared right at Yi Long's hand, still suspended high in the air, caught red-handed. Meeting his furious, burning eyes, I raised my right arm and pointed straight up at that completely petrified man. "Grandpa, please save me. Daddy's trying to kill me." The very moment those words left my mouth, my head dropped, and I completely blacked out. I lay unconscious in the hospital for a full 24 hours. My left arm was already wrapped in a heavy plaster cast. The medical report diagnosed a fractured ulna in my left arm, along with severe, multiple soft tissue contusions. Grandma held me tight, crying her absolute heart out. Grandpa stood silently by the window, radiating a terrifying, stormy aura of incoming fury. Through Grandma's broken, sobbing whispers, I slowly pieced together everything that went down while I was out cold. The ambulance and the Liu family's private lawyers had arrived at the estate at the exact same time. Yi Long was immediately pinned down by the bodyguards and locked away in the basement. He was screaming like a complete lunatic, yelling that I was a demon spawn, raving that I had set him up from the very beginning. It was the ultimate, ironclad proof of all his crimes. 2 days later, I was finally discharged. Grandpa personally wheeled me into the main hall of the Liu estate. Inside, every single relative of the Liu family, alongside our legal advisors, sat there with deadly serious faces. And Yi Long, violently dragged in by the bodyguards, was tossed right into the middle of the room like a dead dog. "Liu Rian." Grandpa's voice was absolutely freezing, devoid of any human warmth. Liu Rian violently flinched, then stepped forward with her head hung low. The lawyer placed a document and a pen in front of her. "This is the divorce agreement. Sign it and make him leave with nothing. Otherwise, you can get the hell out of this house with him." Hearing this, Liu Rian turned absolutely pale. She glanced at Yi Long, who looked like a withered husk on the floor. Then she looked at me, sitting pitifully in my wheelchair. It took her only half a second to grab the pen and quickly sign her name. Yi Long was dragged out by the emotionless bodyguards. From beginning to end, Liu Rian didn't spare him another glance. Ever since Yi Long was kicked to the curb, Grandpa turned to Liu Rian and said something that terrified her to her core. "Draft another document, take 20% of the Liu Group shares under my name, and transfer them to TNTN immediately." Grandpa walked over to me and gently patted my head. "From today onwards, Yi Tian will take the surname Liu. He is the sole heir to my Liu family." Hearing this, my lips curled into a smirk that no one noticed. I looked right at Liu Rian. "Now it's your turn, Mom." Ever since Yi Long was kicked out, my left arm took a whole year to recover. Even though it was fully healed, I would still clutch it and cry out in pain on rainy days. It was my way to remind everyone in the Lu family exactly what they owed me. Nourished by their guilt, I grew up to be 12 years old. And my mother, Lu Rian, completely turned into my glorified babysitter. Her life completely revolved around me, but for a charming woman still in the prime of her life, being trapped in a routine like this, it was only natural to seek comfort elsewhere. Soon enough, I started smelling an unfamiliar men's cologne on her. Without breaking a sweat, I used the brand new computer Grandpa gave me to hack into her phone. The guy's name was Zhang Wei, a young, handsome college boy. Lu Rian even rented a high-end apartment for him, bought him designer watches, and threw her money around like water. Seeing this, I chuckled. Oh, Lu Rian, your new life will be the death of you. I didn't go running to Grandpa and Grandma to snitch. That would be letting her off way too easy. Instead, I picked a night when she had just come back from a sweet rendezvous with Zhang Wei, and was in the absolute best of moods. Carrying a glass of milk, I walked right into her bedroom. Lu Rian immediately dropped her phone and opened her arms to me. What's wrong, Tian Tian? Why aren't you asleep yet? I didn't go over to her. I just stood right there, looking down, and asked in a tiny voice. Mom, do you think I'm a burden to you? What are you talking about? Lu Rian's face instantly changed. Why would you ever think that? I looked up, my eyes already brimming with tears. But, I saw you with that man. Are you trying to find me a new dad? Is it because Tian Tian wasn't a good boy? Tears streamed down my face as I spoke. Lu Rian was completely panicking now. She rushed over, pulling me into her arms, and babbled frantically. Mommy just made a new friend, that's all. Mommy would never, ever abandon my little Tian Tian. Really? I looked up at her with tear-stained cheeks. I promise, she swore to the heavens. Watching her looking so terrified and guilty, I knew the trap was set perfectly. I stopped crying, and instead, acted incredibly mature for my age to comfort her. Mom, don't be scared. I know you must get really lonely all by yourself. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. Hearing this, Lu Rian froze. She fully expected me to throw a massive tantrum, but she never expected this kind of understanding. I sniffled, and used the acting skills of a lifetime to deal the final, fatal blow. Mom, you absolutely can't let Grandpa and Grandma know. I grabbed her clothes and lowered my voice. They'll be mad at you. I'll help you keep it a secret. Pinky promise. Saying that, I held out my pinky finger. Lu Rian looked at me, her eyes slowly turning red. A mix of being touched, feeling guilty, and the relief of surviving a disaster filled her eyes. She thought I was genuinely looking out for her. And trembling, she linked her pinky with mine. Tian Tian, you really are Mommy's sweet little angel. She choked back a sob and hugged me tightly in her arms. Taking advantage of the moment, I pulled a bank card out of my pocket. This is what Grandpa gave me. It's a supplementary card with no limit. Mom, this is for you. I stuffed it into Lu Rian's hand. Help me buy a car for that mister, okay? If he's happy, you'll be able to smile more. At that moment, Lu Rian's psychological defenses were completely crushed by me. She hugged me and cried like a baby, endlessly saying I was her angel, her only salvation in this life. I let her hold me, wearing the most innocent and pure smile on my face. But in my heart, I was sneering. Don't cry just yet. When you are personally sent to hell by me, you'll have plenty of time to thank your good son. And so, with my encouragement and cover, Lu Rian and Zhang Wei's love became even more wildly passionate. Lu Rian naively thought that I, her son, was her only ally and salvation. She even started daydreaming about the future in front of me. When I came of age, she and Zhang Wei would move abroad and settle down, no longer caring about all the drama of the Lu family. Listening to her beautiful fantasies, I showed a naively expectant smile on my face. While my heart was filled with cold, murderous intent. Lu Rian, when you killed me, why didn't you think about giving me a future? While I generously used the money Grandpa gave me to fund their romance, I also used a burner phone to quietly get in touch with Zhang Wei. I knew he was just a male college student from a poor background. I knew he craved a proper status and was desperate to squeeze into high society. I also knew that deep down, he was a greedy and stupid man. Using an anonymous identity, I disguised myself as Lu Rian's bestie and started brainwashing him with an idea. Lu Rian loves you deeply. But she's tied down by her family and doesn't dare to go public with your relationship. She's waiting for you to make a brave move. Why do you think she spends so much money on you? I patiently guided him in the text messages. That's a test for you, and also her way of compensating you. She wants you to step up like a man and give her a legitimate future. Zhang Wei's ambition was easily ignited by me. Then, what should I do? He asked eagerly. I pointed the way for him. The Lu Group's annual gala is next week. It's the most important event for the Lu family. All the board members and elites will be there. You need to propose to her in front of everyone. And seal the deal. She loves you so much. In that situation, she will definitely fight her family to the bitter end just for you. To drive him completely insane, I even used my own pocket money to anonymously transfer a massive sum to him. This is a surprise Lu Ruyan told me to secretly give you. Consider it your future fund. She says once it's done, half of the Lu family's fortune will be yours. Looking at the long string of zeros in his bank account, Zhang Wei completely lost his mind. He was incredibly grateful to me, the bestie he had never met, swearing he would definitely give Lu Ruyan the biggest surprise ever. The night of the Lu Group's annual gala, I stood by Lu Ruyan's side. Receiving everyone's blessings, Lu Ruyan held her wine glass, constantly turning to her business partners. Introduce me as the future heir of the Lu family. But right as Grandpa went on stage to give his speech, and the banquet reached its climax, I quietly tapped my phone and sent the final message to Zhang Wei. Now is the time, your queen is waiting for you. Then, I looked up, looked at my glamorous mother on stage, and flashed a flawless smile. Mom, the public execution I personally prepared for you is about to begin. Grandpa's booming voice was still echoing in the hall, when the banquet hall doors were suddenly violently shoved open from the outside. A young man in a suit, holding a massive bouquet of roses, broke through the security guards and barged right in. Every single eye in the room instantly locked onto him. Ru Yan, I'm here to marry you. Zhang Wei completely ignored everyone and rushed straight up to Lu Ruyan. Dropping to one knee and holding up a diamond ring. I know you've been waiting for me to be brave just this once. Today, in front of everyone, I want to tell the whole world that I love you. Let's not hide anymore. Marry me, okay? At this moment, Lu Ruyan's mind went completely blank. She stared at the lunatic in front of her, her lips trembling. What nonsense are you spouting? Security, drag him out of here. Seeing this, Zhang Wei froze. Ruyan, what's wrong? It's me, you said so yourself. As long as I dared to step up, you would leave with me. You bought me a car, and even transferred 5 million to me as our future fund. Have you forgotten everything? Hearing this, a collective gasp swept through the guests. Grandpa's face turned as dark as thunder. And I, watching this grand drama I directed with my own hands, knew it was time for the ultimate victim to take the stage. I burst out from the crowd, running and crying out in absolute panic. Mom, what's wrong? Who is this strange uncle? Make him go away, please. I rushed in front of Lu Ruyan, spreading my frail arms to shield her desperately, glaring at Zhang Wei with eyes full of grief and anger. You bad man, why did you come here to trick my mom? The money she gave you was mine. I was the one who told her to use it to buy you a car. I just wanted her to be a little happier. Why are you trying to hurt her like this? My crying and screaming successfully transformed Lu Ruyan from a wealthy sugar mommy keeping a boy toy into a pitiful woman deceived by both her son and her lover. But this would only ensure she crashes and burns even harder. Zhang Wei was completely dumbfounded. What did you just say? It was your money? He looked at me in total disbelief, then looked back at Lu Ruyan. Ruyan, what is going on? Lu Ruyan had completely broken down. She covered her face, unable to do anything but cry. Right on cue, I triggered my old injury. I clutched my once broken left arm, letting out a muffled groan of agonizing pain. Then dropped to the floor, acting terrified out of my wits, and burst into earth-shattering sobs. Grandpa, I'm so scared. My hand, it hurts again. My crying was the final straw that broke the camel's back. He stormed off the stage and viciously slammed his cane right onto the still dazed Zhang Wei. Guards, beat this scammer out of here. And call the cops. After that, without even glancing at Lu Ruyan on the floor, he walked straight over to me and picked me up with extreme care. Tien, don't be afraid. Grandpa is here. He held me, stepping right past the completely devastated. I walked coldly past Lu Ruyan. She watched our backs fade into the distance. She finally let out a desperate, agonizing wail. She knew that this time, she was truly finished. That night, inside the massive Liu family estate, grandfather delivered his final judgment. From today on, you are no longer the vice president of the Liu group. I am freezing every single card under your name. I'll have the butler set you up with a tiny apartment out in the suburbs. He stared at his one and only daughter, without a single ripple of emotion in his eyes. You are entirely on your own now. Completely abandoned by her family, Liu Riyang plummeted from the clouds straight into the mud overnight. She moved into that cramped, gloomy suburban apartment. The luxury cars, designer bags, and high-end jewelry under her name were all confiscated. Stripped of her halo as the eldest daughter of the Liu family, all those fair-weather friends who used to kiss up to her now avoided her like the plague. Woman who was used to throwing money around like water quickly found herself in a pathetic state, unable to even pay her utility bills. In her absolute desperation, she thought of someone. The man who had also been personally ruined by me. Who was now living like a filthy rat, hiding in the dark, gritty corners of the city. Yi Long. She found him in a cheap, underground casino. Yi Long had long lost his former arrogance, reeking entirely of booze and stale cigarettes. Right then, he was pinned to the ground and getting beaten half to death for cheating at cards. Liu Rian used the very last bit of cash she had on her to bail him out. The man and woman, both discarded by the world, stared at each other in a filthy, disgusting alleyway. Their eyes were filled with the exact same toxic resentment and bitterness. It's all because of that little bastard. Yi Long spat out a mouthful of bloody saliva, his voice hoarse and ragged. Liu Rian, are you really just gonna take this? Everything we had was destroyed by that little monster. Liu Rian clenched her fists deathly tight. No, of course I'm not gonna just take it. So, what do we do? A crazed, desperate idea ignited in both of their eyes at the exact same moment. Their one and only. Their final lifeline. That was their son, the current sole heir to the Liu family empire. I had long anticipated their desperate dead end. I deliberately had my bodyguards drop their guard. Every single day after school, I insisted on staying all alone in the bookstore by the school gates for an extra 10 minutes. Finally, on the third day, that beat-up van arrived right on schedule. I didn't fight back. I didn't even cry out for help. Calmly let them take me away, acting as if I was just heading to a long-scheduled date. The van drove all the way out to an abandoned, half-finished building. Liu Rian pulled out her phone and dialed grandfather's number. Her voice trembled wildly with manic excitement. Dad, Tian is in my hands. Get 1 billion ready for me right now. Otherwise, I'm taking him straight down to hell with me. The moment she finished speaking, she hung up the phone. She looked at me, tied to the chair, with incredibly complicated eyes. I sat right there on the chair, without a single trace of fear on my face. Instead, I just tilted my head and asked with a face full of absolute innocence, Mommy, are we playing a game right now? I turned my gaze toward Yi Long, my sweet smile never fading. Just like how you guys dealt with an uncle named Wang Teng, all those years ago? Seeing this, both of their bodies violently stiffened. How could you possibly know that? Liu Rian stared at me in sheer, unadulterated terror. Like she was looking at a genuine monster. Because I saw it, silly. I started giggling happily, pointing right at my own eyes. I've been watching you, this whole time. Liu Rian and Yi Long's psychological defenses shattered completely in that very second. Liu Rian was the first to scream, pointing a shaking finger at Yi Long. It had nothing to do with me. It was him. It was all his idea. He said as long as Wang Teng was permanently out of the picture, we could be together forever. He's the one who hired the thugs to do it. Bullshit, Yi Long roared back, his face twisting into a vicious, ugly snarl. Who was it that whispered in my ear, saying Wang Teng was just a useless piece of trash? That he didn't deserve me at all? Who was it that stole his schedule and handed it over to me? Liu Rian, you venomous witch. You're way more ruthless than I am. I did not. It was obviously his own careless driving. Careless? You personally spiked his favorite coffee with sleeping pills. Did you forget? As they desperately tried to shift the blame, they scrambled over each other, screaming out all their crimes right in front of me. And I quietly pressed the button on my chest. Thank you for your confessions. Now, you can both drop dead in peace. Just as they were tearing each other apart and about to get physical, the sound of police sirens echoed from outside the abandoned building, drawing closer and closer. The moment I clicked the recording pen, I had also triggered the emergency GPS tracker hidden behind my pendant. In less than 10 minutes, heavily armed SWAT officers descended out of nowhere, pinning Lu Rian and Yi Long, who had completely suffered a mental breakdown, hard against the ground. Meanwhile, I was scooped up into the arms of a tall police officer. "Don't be afraid, kiddo. Everything is okay now." I buried my face in his chest, trembling all over like a leaf. At the police station, I saw my frantic grandpa and grandma. I threw myself into their arms and just bawled my eyes out. Only then did I act as if I just remembered, pulling the pendant out of my pocket. "Grandpa, Mommy and Daddy, they said so many scary things." I sobbed, handing the recording pen over. "I was so scared, so I just pressed this button right here." The evidence was absolutely irrefutable. Kidnapping, murder, multiple charges stacked together. My own biological parents, that wretched couple who once stole everything from me, were both sentenced to life behind bars. Years later, at my coming-of-age ceremony, Grandpa officially handed over the title of chairman of the Lu Group. Right into my hands, under my absolute control, the market value of the Lu Group tripled, shining brighter than ever before in its history. And I became the youngest, most legendary business emperor in the entire corporate world, on the exact second day after I officially took over the company. I cancelled all my meetings, and drove alone to the maximum security prison on the outskirts of the city. Inside the special visitation room, separated by a thick layer of bulletproof glass, I met with my parents from this lifetime. Yi Long's hair had mostly turned white, and Lu Rian had aged terribly. The moment they saw me, their cloudy eyes suddenly lit up with a glimmer of hope. "Tien, you actually came to see us." Yi Long spoke up first, pressing his face excitedly against the glass. "Daddy knows he was wrong. Daddy is so sorry. Could you please beg your grandpa for mercy? Tell him to let Daddy out early." Lu Rian started sobbing too, banging her hands hard against the glass. Tien, Mommy misses you so much. Please forgive Mommy, okay?" Mommy was just completely blinded by foolishness back then. They were still dreaming their sweet delusions of a grand comeback. I just watched them quietly, waiting until they cried enough and finished their pathetic little performance, before I slowly let out a smirk. "Daddy, do you still remember that scar on your right shoulder? When I was little, I was bitten by a wild dog trying to save you." Hearing this, Yi Long's crying came to a dead stop. He just froze, staring at me in pure confusion. I turned to Lu Rian, my smile completely unchanged. "And Mommy, do you remember the very first gift Wang Teng ever gave you? It was an architectural blueprint he drew with his own 2 hands. He told you that was going to be your future home together. But later, you used that exact drawing to light a cigarette." The expression on Lu Rian's face completely froze. He looked at me, a flicker of terror starting to show in his eyes. Through the glass, my tone was deadly soft. "You plotted so carefully to murder Wang Teng, and stole absolutely everything he had. Then, so full of joy, you welcomed your precious baby into the world. You raised him, only to watch him, step by step, personally send you straight to hell." I stood up, looking down at those 2 completely drained, bloodless faces on the other side of the glass. I slowly revealed the final twist. What a shame. I am Wang Teng. I saw Yi Long's pupils instantly dilate to their absolute limit. Lu Rian just stared dead at me, the muscles in her face twitching uncontrollably. A few seconds later, she suddenly burst into a fit of crazed, hysterical laughter. I didn't spare them another glance. I turned around, pushed open that heavy iron door, and walked out. Wang Teng is already dead. The one who survived is Lu Tien. The sky is high, the sea is vast, and I am free to soar.